Deposit withdrawal crisis sparks protests as citizens demand access to their savings. Protesters demand justice amidst Henan Taihong logistics scandal and face police brutality. The cases of disease between 0 and 17 years old increased by 464% year-on-year. A Beijing university revealed that mice tested for the new coronavirus had a 100% fatality rate. China's real population closer to 1 billion amid ongoing epidemic. Deposit withdrawal crisis sparks protests as citizens demand access to their savings. China's economy is facing a grim reality, with a sharp decline that is sending shockwaves throughout the nation. The recent turmoil in the finance sector, exemplified by the debacle at the Qingshuipu Service Department of the Withdrawal Consumer Cooperative in Withdrawal Province, is just one symptom of the deepening crisis. The incident at the Withdrawal Consumer Cooperative paints a bleak picture of a financial system on the verge of collapse. Local residents who had entrusted their hard-earned money to this cooperative have been left in a state of despair as they struggle to withdraw their deposits. The frustration and anger have boiled over, resulting in the wanton destruction of the cooperative's premises. It is worth noting that these depositors turned to the Withdrawal Consumer Cooperative because of promises of higher interest rates than other institutions. However, these enticing offers have now backfired, leaving people worried that their life savings may vanish into thin air. Depositors, desperate to access their own money, have repeatedly sought withdrawal from the cooperative, only to be met with unfulfilled promises and escalating conflicts. The situation took a turn for the worse when Withdrawal Consumer Cooperative Commodities Limited issued a chilling notice on October 31, 2023. In this notice, they admitted their inability to make payments, revealing that their business was in a state of disarray. They set a deadline for resolving the crisis, but it remains to be seen whether they can actually honor their commitments. The stories of ordinary citizens suffering due to their inability to access their own funds are heart-wrenching. From small shop owners unable to retrieve their meager savings to parents unable to provide New Year's money for their children, the impact of this financial meltdown is widespread and devastating. Moreover, this incident is not an isolated one. Rural banks in Henan have been plagued by deposit withdrawal issues for an astounding 21 months. Shockingly, multiple rural banks in Henan and Anhui shut down online withdrawal and transfer channels abruptly, trapping tens of billions of yuan and affecting hundreds of thousands of depositors. Despite protests and efforts to protect their rights, depositors have been met with resistance and even brutality from authorities. The sentiment among netizens is increasingly pessimistic, as they view this financial turmoil as a precursor to a more extensive economic collapse. The belief that officials are transferring assets, the wealthy are emigrating, and the poor are fleeing their homes adds to the sense of doom. The specter of a collapsing Chinese Communist Party and the renminbi losing its value looms large in the minds of many. Protesters demand justice amidst Henan Taihong logistics scandal, face police brutality. On January 18th, Zhengzhou. The Henan Taihong logistics runaway incident has ignited a firestorm of outrage in society. Shockingly, the logistics company not only swindled merchants out of their goods, but callously left its employees high and dry, defaulting on their hard-earned wages and branch deposits, amounting to a staggering sum of tens of millions. When the beleaguered merchants attempted to seek justice at the company headquarters, their pleas fell on deaf ears and they were met with utter abandonment. Henan Taihong Logistics had once garnered accolades, earning the title of Integrity Management Demonstration Enterprise in Zhengzhou City in 2023. However, on January 15th, this so-called paragon of integrity abruptly shut its doors, leaving no trace of its management or workforce. To the horror of the affected merchants, their goods were promptly resold to other logistics companies. Desperate and betrayed, they rushed to the company headquarters, only to find it a ghost town, devoid of any personnel to answer for their grievances. Facing the impotent silence of the company, the merchants decided to turn to the provincial government for help, hoping that their plight would finally be acknowledged. What followed, however, was an egregious display of police brutality. The merchants, who had peacefully protested with banners and slogans, were ruthlessly beaten and forcibly dispersed under the pretext of disturbing public order. Some were left injured and in need of medical attention, while others were unjustly detained, their mobile phones confiscated, leaving them cut off from the outside world. A sense of helplessness and fury washed over the merchants as they came to the grim realization that the government, far from protecting their lawful rights, had become complicit in suppressing them. The shocking revelations of the Henan Taihang logistics scam have sparked a wave of public anger and condemnation online. Netizens are unequivocal in their assessment that this is a grave economic crime, with innocent merchants and employees paying the price. They demand the government's active intervention, accountability for the culprits, and swift action to restore justice, rather than resorting to violence and ignoring the public's outcry. Doubts have also arisen regarding potential ulterior motives behind the company's operation, whether it enjoyed protection from government entities or individuals, and whether there was a sinister game of financial manipulation at play. The public fervently implores relevant authorities to conduct a thorough investigation and deliver justice to the people. As of now, the Henan provincial government has maintained a conspicuous silence, offering no formal response. The cases of disease between 0 to 17 years old increased by 464% year-on-year. Recent reports from mainland China have revealed a disturbing trend in the insurance industry, an alarming increase in disease claims among younger individuals. These reports have left many netizens perplexed and concerned, prompting them to question the underlying causes. China Life's 2023 life insurance claims report unveiled a troubling statistic. The detection rate of major diseases among insured individuals aged 25-45 has doubled from 2013 to 2022. This rise in serious illnesses among the relatively young population is certainly disheartening. Ping An Health Insurance's 2023 annual claims report is even more unsettling. The proportion of teenagers among claim customers has surged significantly, indicating a worrying shift towards younger age groups. The percentage of claims involving individuals aged 0-17 in 2023 skyrocketed from 8.09% in the previous year to a staggering 29.65%, with a jaw-dropping 464.4% year-on-year increase in case volume. Xinhua Insurance's 2023 Claims Service Annual Report adds to the grim narrative, revealing that the youngest individual at risk was a mere 66 days old. This startling revelation highlights the vulnerability of even the most tender lives. The 2023 Annual Claims Report from the digital insurance platform Huize underscores the persisting dominance of malignant tumors as the leading cause of insurance claims. Among minors, the top 3 critical illness risks are leukemia, brain malignant tumors, and severe aplastic anemia, while adults face the grim reality of thyroid cancer, lung cancer, and breast cancer as the top 3 killers. Alarmingly, young and middle-aged people aged 19 to 40 bear the brunt of critical illness insurance claims, accounting for a staggering 58%, far exceeding other age groups. When it comes to medical insurance, the top 3 reasons for compensation among children under 12 years old are bronchitis, acute gastroenteritis, and acute upper respiratory tract infections. These statistics paint a bleak picture of the health challenges faced by our youngest members of society. Netizens have been quick to voice their concerns and questions about this distressing trend. Some are left in shock and disbelief, like a Zhejiang netizen who tragically lost his wife to acute leukemia and cerebral hemorrhage at a young age with no family medical history. Others, such as a Shandong netizen, share similar stories of loved ones being diagnosed with serious illnesses despite leading seemingly healthy lives. These personal accounts only serve to deepen the sense of injustice and confusion surrounding this issue. Some netizens have even raised speculative theories, attributing the increase in diseases among the young to factors like the CCP virus, COVID-19, or the CCP virus vaccine. Such speculations, while lacking concrete evidence, only add to the prevailing sense of anxiety and uncertainty. A Beijing university revealed that mice tested for the new coronavirus had a 100% fatality rate. The recent revelations regarding the research conducted by scholars from Beijing universities and the 301 hospital are deeply troubling and raise serious concerns about the ethical and safety standards of such experiments. This research, which involved the creation of a mutant virus known as GX-P2VC7, is nothing short of horrifying. The fact that this virus was specifically engineered to attack the brains of mice with ACE2 receptors and kill them all is both disturbing and unethical. It is alarming that foreign media have rightfully labeled this research as creepy, highlighting the darkness of these experiments. The main authors of this paper, primarily from the Advanced Innovation Center for Soft Matter Science and Engineering at Beijing University of Chemical Technology, along with contributors from the 5th Medical Center under Beijing 301 Hospital and the National Key Laboratory of Medical Biotechnology of Nanjing University, should be held accountable for their actions. The paper itself reveals that Chinese scholars have been tampering with pangolin coronaviruses related to SARS-CoV-2 since 2017, and this latest development, where GXP2VC7 was created, is deeply disturbing. The fact that this virus can cause the rapid death of human AC2 transgenic mice with an astonishingly fast mortality rate raises significant concerns about its potential threat to humans. Furthermore, the research team's claims about being the first to prove that a new coronavirus-related virus causes 100% death in experimental mice is chilling. The fact that they are boasting about it demonstrates a concerning lack of ethical consideration for the potential consequences of their actions. The paper's mention of previous research by Xu Zhengli's team and the failure to study the mutant strain's adaptive evolution during laboratory cultivation is also alarming. It suggests a lack of transparency and accountability in the scientific community, especially when dealing with such dangerous experiments. While the paper may have been published on bioRxiv, an open academic communication platform, the fact that it is still awaiting peer review results is no excuse for the lack of scrutiny and oversight in conducting such experiments. The potential consequences of this research cannot be overstated, and it is essential that the international community takes these concerns seriously. Given the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the suspicion surrounding the origins of the virus, it is disconcerting to see scholars within the Chinese Communist Party's system continuing to engage in research that could potentially result in the creation of deadly viruses. Foreign media's condemnation of these actions as playing with fire is entirely justified, and the international community must demand accountability and transparency in the field of virology and biotechnology. China's real population closer to 1 billion amid ongoing epidemic. The Statistics Bureau of the Communist Party of China released the 2023 population data on January 17th, saying that China's population was 1.41 billion, with 9.02 million births and 11.1 million deaths throughout the year, and a net population decrease of 208,000 of people. This number has been questioned by mainland people. A person in Nanjing who is familiar with the internal data of the Ministry of Public Security of the Communist Party of China revealed to our reporter that many people have died due to the epidemic in China. Currently, there are no 1.4 billion people in China. There are only 1 billion people registered with the Public Security Organisation, Ling Xiao, a resident of Nanjing. There are still too many people in the hospital now. Oops, people are dying in pieces. After taking the COVID-19 vaccine, especially the elderly, the final outcome is white lung. China does not have 1.4 billion people now. I saw from the Ministry of Public Security that day that there were over 1 billion registered personnel. Recently, our reporters interviewed people in many provinces in mainland China. Regardless of urban or rural areas, almost everyone said that they or their family members were infected with the virus, and many people around them died suddenly. Among the dead were not only the elderly, but also many young adults and children. But Chinese Communist Party officials and mainland media barely mention this. The CCP virus epidemic in mainland China has never disappeared since it broke out in Wuhan, Hubei province, at the end of 2019. During the peak period, crematoriums and funeral parlors everywhere were full. In July 2022, the database of the Shanghai Public Security Bureau was hacked. The hacker China Dan publicly sold the personal information of 1 billion Chinese citizens online. At that time, international media followed up the report, and professionals said that the database was complete. Current affairs commentator Xing Rentao also commented in an article that information from the Shanghai Public Security Bureau database shows that the country's population is only about 1 billion, which is 400 million different from the CCP's official claim of 1.42 billion, which proves that 400 million people died in the epidemic.